If you want to be more efficient and effective while running your business with more inner peace, then working on the core of your issues instead of putting on a band-aid is vital. Welcome to the Business Brain Podcast.
I'm your host, Esty Rapport, and here to help you improve your 28 cognitive functions, the 28 things that make up thinking. In each episode, we'll discuss a real-life challenge, why you might be struggling with it, and give you practical strategies so all areas of your life will improve.
When Dave joined our 90-day program, Optimize Your Brain, it felt like he had 6,938 open tasks. There was no money coming in, clients were waiting, employees were unhappy, and his bank account was not what he wanted it to look like. By training his brain to complete tasks truly, he not only got important work done on time, but also improved his income, his clients were much happier, and overall just his sense of accomplishment went up, transforming both his personal and professional life. If you're experiencing something similar, I'm here to tell you, you do not have to struggle forever. In this episode 442 of the Business Brain Podcast, I'm going to share with you the exact steps of what you can do to have your own transformation. But first, take a moment to leave a rating and a review because yes, it helps the podcast more than you know. Don't forget to screenshot it and send it to me so I can give you a shout out. While you are doing any tasks, you, without even realizing it, are using your 28 thinking skills. But the thinking skills you need to use are strong. Doing the task is easy. If the thinking skills you need to use is weak, doing the task will be a challenge. The struggle that Dave had came from a weak thinking skill of perseverance. The thinking skill of perseverance is just what it sounds like. Not giving up, even when it's hard. When the thinking skill of perseverance is weak, it's called blocking because it often feels like there's a wall in your brain that is blocking you and you can't move forward. Now, let me tell you a secret. Almost always, the reason why a person is struggling with perseverance because there are other weak thinking skills that are building the wall and causing you to want to stop. However, every time you stop a task when it gets challenging, you literally create gaps in your brain, which makes it more challenging for you next time to do challenging tasks. Now, it works the other way too. Every time you complete a challenging task, you close a circuit in your brain and it makes it easy for you to do the challenging task in the future. The strategy that Dave used to rewire his brain to complete tasks is called all the way. You simply don't move on from the task until it is completely done. How you get it done, it's up to you. Here are some ideas. You pick what you like best. For some people, simply saying the words, do this task all the way helps. And you don't give yourself an option to stop even when it gets hard. I know it sounds crazy, but often this is just what you need, that little bit of motivation to keep your commitment to yourself and do the task all the way. Another way to help yourself complete the task is to celebrate the many parts of the task. So let's say you really need to write this email to your email list. You pick the topic. That's one part of this task. Yay, you do a happy dance. You write the outline. Another part of this task. Yay, you get a piece of chocolate, etc. Another thing I found works well for some is racing against a timer. See if you can get yourself to finish the task before the timer is up. Now, it doesn't make a difference how you finish a task. The point is to get the task done all the way, completely. All the way. And that means if you're sweeping the floor, you put the broom back where it belongs. You put it back all the way. You save all the files, everything that you need to do, you do it all the way. This way, your brain begins to learn to find ways to get tasks done, even when it's challenging. So remember, every time you do a challenging task and you take it all the way to completion, you make it easier for yourself next time. Now, although Dave really implemented the strategy of all the way, it was not the only thing he did. Something else that helped Dave a lot was understanding why this task was a challenge and solving the root cause of why this task was as challenged instead of just putting on a band-aid. Usually that root cause is a weak thinking skill. So every time a task was challenging, ask yourself, what part of this task was it challenging and which thinking skills is related to that part of the task. You could take the thinking skill assessment at lifepicksuniversity.com/CF. So you have a list of all the thinking skills. You see where you're standing with each of the thinking skills, and you can compare it to the parts of the task to see what you need to work on. Because when you work on those thinking skills, then doing the task will no longer be a challenge. Every time you give up on a challenging task, you create a gap in your neural connections, making it harder for you to do challenging tasks in the future. Every time you complete a challenging task, you make it easier for yourself to do challenging tasks in the future. Your challenge this week is to take every single task you do this week to completion. Yes, every single one for a whole week. I know this sounds crazy and I know it sounds super challenging, but it will drastically change the momentum spiral you're on. Instead of going down the path of not finishing things, you are going to be training your brain to go down the path of completing tasks all the way. In the beginning, it will be really challenging, but as you go on, it will get easier and easier. You've got this. Don't give up when it's challenging, because remember, you're making it easier for yourself in the future.
That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with 2 of your business friends so they too can gain from it, and you'll be helping us reach our goal of 1 million downloads by the end of 2025. Cheers to peak brain performance.